The Space Garden is a concept that we developed with Thomas Heatherwick's studio, focusing on the future of agriculture in space. This is part of an off-worlding future. How can we take the heavy industry, the polluting things off of the surface of the Earth, get them off into space? If we're going to do that, we need a community in space. We need to actually be able to take care of the people and the workers that would be doing that industrial work out in orbit. And so Space Garden is the first step to that future of using space technology for the benefit of life on Earth. So in addition to the aesthetic design of this really incredible piece, we're working on the engineering to be able to make it a very rigorous experiment for life growth, plant growth in extreme environments. So what's special about that is if we can figure that out for the difficulties of living in space in the vacuum, that's a lot of knowledge that we can take to help grow plants in extreme environments on Earth, an area that are food deserts. So that's one of the main aims of this project, is to really do this as an experiment to gather data. So the model that you all see in the Biennale is a mock-up of something that we are working on to send to orbit, in the same orbit where the International Space Station would be. The second goal of this project is to humanize space exploration. And this was really inspired by working with Thomas Heatherwick and his amazing team to say, so much of space structure, space architecture has been very sterile. Over the last 50 years, the main goal was survival for humans, but not necessarily thriving. There wasn't much room for beauty and aesthetics. And so with this project, we wanted to push the boundary of what we're allowed to do as space architects and say, not only do we want to have great science and we want to push the field forward for extreme environment agriculture, but we actually want to create a structure that could get people excited all around the public, all around the world, and think that, wow, there's something beautiful and unique to the types of structures that we could build in space. So I think this is what's so exciting about this year's Biennale, is the space industry is at this incredible inflection point where access to space is coming way more quickly than people realize. So in just 15 years, the cost to get to space dropped from tens of thousands of euros per launch to about 200 euros per kilogram, which is amazing, right? So in just 15 years, 4 orders of magnitude price per kilogram, the cost has dropped. This is remarkable. This makes it like DHL or FedEx. If you can ship something around the world, you can ship it to space. And what that enables us to do is to plot this future where there'll be so much more activity and life in space. It's not so much that we will have to live every day of our lives in space, but it's that your children, if you have children or people who are in their, young and early 20s now, they might have a job where they commute to space and they come home regularly every week. That's the future that we are so near to now because the cost to get to space has dropped so dramatically. Can space technology help us today on the ground? We were really inspired by Colorati's theme for this year's Biennale, intelligence, natural, artificial, thinking about the ways in which we need to be responsible stewards of our Earth space system in this environment. There's a long history of NASA and ESA, the European Space Agency, spin-offs. Everything from Kevlar to microwaves to LASIK eye surgery came from developments in the space technology realm because it's so difficult to design in that realm. It provides these really interesting constraints that produces better engineering that we can apply to Earth. And I want to give you an example, a very concrete example, working within the context of the Space Garden and the future of space habitation. There are 3 technologies in a space habitat that are absolutely minimum viable product that would be incredibly useful right now today on Earth. The first is energy efficient air conditioning. The second is it has to be airtight because you're living in the vacuum in space, so you have to have really good air filtration and airtight systems. And you have to be able to do direct air carbon capture because you take the CO2 that an astronaut is breathing out and you have to turn it into oxygen. Those 3 technologies are incredibly important now for modern day building on Earth in the face of wildfires, in the face of extreme temperatures, where we want the homes themselves to be more robust, more like little habitats, like space habitats. So we're already working to take some of those technologies and translate them from space to Earth today.